Hey guys, my name is Dr. Kenny Paul Smith, and this fall 2021, I will be offering another section of Honors 2020. This one will be entitled Magic, Religion, and American Culture. I taught this course a little more than a year ago here at LSU in the Ogden Honors College, and it seemed to be very well received. In fact, three of our presenters in religious studies at the LSU Discovery Day will be presenting papers about this topic, and they are honors students who aren't even religious studies majors. I think they're all pre-med majors. They're honor students who took this course last spring with me. And despite the COVID immediate lockdown, that class went pretty well, and the students did very, very good work. So there are folks out there that you can talk to, circulating around the Ogden community. So let me give you the logistics before I jump into the content. This course will meet next fall, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 to 10:20 a.m. It should be, fingers crossed, it should be taught in person, and which will be great. I am definitely Zoomed out, although I'm very grateful for having Zoom over the last year. You have my email here if you'd like to email me about any aspect of the course. It is classified CI or writing intensive, and that's good. For every class meeting, I will ask you to read something specific, usually no more than one article or one chapter, with very few exceptions. And I'll give you a prompt and I'll ask you to write a little bit about it. Don't be intimidated by that. It's really a method for putting a lot of the grade determination in your hands. And it also is an excellent way to get everybody prepared so that we can actually come in and have a discussion about what you read rather than me walking you through it. It ends up being a little bit more like a seminar, even a graduate level course. It ends up being a lot more fun. You get more out of it. So again, feel free to email me. Do not be intimidated. Let's get to the content and see whether that interests you. So the questions with which we will begin. What exactly is magic? And how does it differ from other kinds of things that humans do, right? What is the magical? So we need a theory, right? We need a theory, we need a basic description and understanding of what it is that separates the magical from the religious and the scientific and other kinds of things. Let me gesture to this painting at the top of the flyer here. It's also at the top of the syllabus. It depicts a rather famous or infamous instance from mid-19th century English history, the famous scientist and mathematician, Sir Isaac Newton, and his astonished house guest, right? In which Sir Isaac has somehow transformed an incoming beam of white light into a rainbow of colors. And in early modern England and Europe and in, say, the English colonies here in North America, there was a lot of debate about these kinds of phenomena, that what has happened here? Is this a miracle? In other words, is it religious? Has God intervened? Has an angel been sent to make this miraculous, maybe even contradictory thing happen, turning white light into the rainbow of colors? Or is there something diabolical that's happened here, right? Or is there something kind of sketchy that's happened here? Is there a power in the stone? Is it a magical stone? Is there a power in Sir Isaac that makes him able to do this? Is there a power in the room? Or is there a power in the combination of the stone, the room, and Sir Isaac? Or, as a few people were saying in the 17th century, is this some kind of basic mechanical process that we simply at the time did not understand? That's a good example of how tangled and confused these seemingly simple categories can be. Magic as opposed to religion over here and science over here. Part of what we will find, I suspect, is that while we might have good starting definitions of these concepts, when we start looking at live examples from American history and contemporary America and American popular culture, it's not going to be so clear. We might actually see that we contemporary Americans are really in the same situation as debaters about Sir Isaac and his famous experiment. The second question that we'll consider is contemporary American culture, meaning right now, is it also, quote, awash in the magical? A number of scholars have said so. rather famously. And so we will take a look at that. Of course, notice to answer the second question, you have to already have a good working theory or set of theories, right? A basic understanding of what magic is or could be. You can't figure out whether it's out there until you've defined the it that you're going to be looking for. Number three, if so, if American culture really is awash in the magical, if that turns out to be true, what would that mean? And how does our reading American culture through some kind of theory of magic, right? Through a lens constituted by a good understanding of magic, how does that act help us to better understand the society around us? So we will do some historical work. We'll go back to early modern England, since that ends up shaping the 13 colonies, right? That eventually revolt and create this nation that we all here, at least now, live in, right? So we will have to look at that English and that European inheritance. But of course, Americans ultimately come from many different places, willingly and unwillingly, and at different times, right? So we will do some historical work, and we'll focus that historical work around what kinds of magical understandings and practices have come from England, from continental Europe, from Africa, from other parts of the world, and what kind of contribution have they made to the history of magic and magical thinking, magical practices, magical understandings in American culture. And then we will also spend a good bit of time right here studying very contemporary things, like how contemporary Americans think about their politics, about their economics, about their religion, about their self-help, about their alternative medicine, about their popular entertainment. Think about the most popular films in the last 30 years. And even if they're science fiction films, if you think about it, like the Star Wars series, they're filled with magical figures and magical ideas, right? That doing things that don't seem to be subject to scientific explanation, like the Jedi of the Star Wars mythology, things like that. So this is the kind of stuff that we will do in the course. And in addition to reading a number of different scholars who are also trying to unpack this with us and have been for a few decades now, what we will do at the end of the semester is you guys will take some kind of working theory of magic, maybe your own, maybe one we have studied together, maybe a hybrid of that. That'll be up to you guys. And then you'll go out and find your own primary data out there in the contemporary American landscape. And then you'll do your own study. You'll put your theory and your data together and see what you get and see what it shows you. So this ends up being an incredible amount of fun. You know, I'll be sharing with you guys some chapters of my own work as part of the course. And at the end of the semester, you guys will do presentations in which you'll present to the rest of the class and the larger Ogden community the results of your own study. Again, do not be intimidated by that. I mean this sincerely. LSU is not an easy school to get into, and the Ogden College is even harder. So if you can get in Ogden and stay in, brothers and sisters, you can do anything. Trust me, I know that is true. So you can definitely do this course. The real question is, do these ideas and questions interest you? Again, feel free to reach out and email me if you like, and I hope to see 20 or so of you in the fall.